So here are the beets. They're kind of small. Here are all the leaves from the beets. And this is the narrow band that the beets were growing in that I just harvested them. So, wow, look at all these guys. A roly-poly fest in there. Oh. So now that I cleared these beets, it makes way for this celery to take up the space, and this lettuce to have more space too. I'd originally planned that the lettuce would be like the quick thing, and then I also have this row of cilantro, and then my idea was that the cilantro and lettuce would be done quicker, and then what would be left standing after that was that there'd be beets and celery here. But what I did wrong, I guess, was to put the beets and the celery right next to each other, because eventually the beets took up the middle space and their leaves were just covering things, and I was noticing that if they continued like that, then everything would just be uncomfortable. And so the whole point was that this was a temporary thing, that you get a harvest out of this space, and then eventually this would come to fill the space. But it just didn't happen that the beets were the thing that would fill the space, because they weren't really compatible. So just realized that that was the move to make, and probably I'll plant beets in some other place, so I can have that beets. What I've learned is that beets need more space. And that celery right next to beets isn't really good if you want a big beet and a big celery. But if you want a little beet and a big celery, it works great. Because now I can come in here and I can put compost, and I can put all the beet leaves, and this can just be kind of like a place where I can feed these things that are on either side. And it would have been a lot harder to get in here and do that. So it's kind of like a nice reset, and this celery will be happy because it loves attention. And this lettuce will probably be happy too. And I'm happy too, because I get beets and celery and lettuce and cilantro and peas and my dad some dill and parsley and tomatoes, and there's even some beans and sunflowers here. So it's all working great, because just keep moving along. Look, here's a fig tree. What do you know? Here's a grafted apple tree. Grafted that myself right there. And this is what apple seedling looks like. There you go. And there's a eucalyptus tree. What do you know? Anyways, look at that nectarine go. So now I'm feeding myself. I'm feeding myself beets and feeding the celery beets and the lettuce, which also eventually feeds me. And if you're totally new to this concept and confused at why I have all these plants growing on top of each other, such as 3 avocado trees growing underneath a willow tree, then I would highly advise you to call my personal phone number and I can tell you all about it.